Shala and Ashe. Blessings to you. And as always, thanks for joining me for Meet Me for Coffee. Today, my guest is an angel oracle messenger, Lindsay GodFree. She has the Consciousness Guide. So we're going to dive into her story of transformation, letting go of the old, which we all know is never pleasant or easy. Surrendering, listening to the being that resides within us with gratitude as well. Welcome, Lindsay.
Hi, Tonya. I am really grateful to be here that you invited me to have coffee with you today. So, although we just met, so we'll get to know a little more about each other, hopefully.
I myself am grateful as well, and I'm so appreciative that you're here on my show. So, let's explore how you what was your journey into creating, angel messages?
That is a great question, and it's kind of a lifelong journey. We're all on the spiritual path, whether we know it or not. And looking backward, I can say that it really started a long time ago, but I'm not going to give you my whole life story, so I'll make that really, really succinct. Fortunately, I grew up in an environment where I knew that there were angels, and that also spoke about having personal revelation. So I was fortunate to come into this lifetime knowing that we could connect and expecting that we would all connect with the divine. So knowing that from the beginning was really helpful to me, although I didn't really know how. And in my life, I became really depressed, and I felt like I wasn't creating the life that I wanted, which is something that you talked about in the introduction to the show. It's not always easy. And I was really suffering from a lot of depression. I didn't know how to move forward. And I had become disillusioned and really kind of angry with God because things hadn't turned out the way that I thought they should. So I kind of surrendered to that feeling and had it out with God and said, okay, I see that I've messed it all up. Now I'm willing to be taught. I'm surrendering to receiving messages and intuition, following my intuition, and I'll just take it step by step with that.
Absolutely. So what are angel oracle messages? I mean, I love the angel oracle in general. Sometimes I feel like an oracle, but not so much in the angelic realm. So what are angel oracle messages?
Well, angel oracle messages are my brand of channeling in the angels. Everyone is a channel, and we can channel all different kinds of vibrations. Angels are particular bandwidth of energetics. Everything, as you know, is energy, and the energetics of the angels is said to be on the seventh dimension. So because I trusted angels, because I believed that I could talk to angels, even though I wasn't always comfortable talking to God, I started with them by just praying for others, actually. I wasn't looking to channel messages, but I was working at a hospital, driving a shuttle bus around and around the hospital, and I said, this is kind of a vortex I'm creating here. Why don't I do something with it? And so I started praying to the angels and saying, bless these people and help them heal and help them with their grief. And things evolved from there to where several years ago, I was directed to start channeling, which I never intended, which I didn't really know much about. And I started doing those messages as automatic writing. So I'd spent a lot of years just clearing my mind, which is the most important thing, is to get the ego mind out of the way, and so that you can receive messages from spirit. And I was really surprised that they came in first day, first thing, with powerful, I am powerful, I am victory. And I was like, whoa, well, that's not me. That's not the me that I know. So I just accepted a 30-day challenge to write every day, and that's how Angel Oracle Messages started.
So how did you become interested in talking to the angels? Like, did you have a certain angel that came to you that you recognized, or was it a feeling, or was it all through the automatic writing and the channeling?
I had been practicing with the Angel Oracle cards to get a personal message for myself every day. And I kind of advise people to, if they're just new with it, to start there and get familiar with the different energies and get feelings about it. When I started channeling the Angel Oracle Messages 3 years ago, I didn't go into it to contact any particular angel or even ask any particular question. I just wanted to be open. I wasn't really sure about the process, and I wanted to be open to whatever they had to say. But pretty soon, I started getting messages from individuals. The angels are really a collective. In a bigger sense, they're part of who we are, because everything's one. It's all oneness. And so in a bigger sense, we're already connected to angels, but it's more comforting sometimes to know the name. Our mind wants to connect to the name. And the ones that we're familiar with are like Archangel Michael for protection, Raphael for healing, and so forth. But I've also been able to channel some angels that I never heard of before, and there's a million of them and more. And not all of them have to do with this earth plane that we're on. So it's a big subject. And Angel Oracle messages, which is what I channel, is tuning into pretty much whatever is on our plate at the moment. What do the angels want me to say today? So primarily, it's whatever the message is for the day, and it's always a surprise to me.
So how do you go about channeling those messages? Like, is there a certain, like for me, I do I'll do like a certain healing, and then I bring in a ritual, and then I bring in a community. So how do you channel the messages from the angels?
I think that I've probably done it in other embodiments because I don't do much of a ritual. I do a daily meditation practice, and I do start there, and I do deep breathing to get centered and anchor to the earth. I believe that my main guardian angel, and I just wrote a blog about guardian angels that'll be coming out probably next month, but my main guardian angel has been Archangel Michael, and so I really feel protected in that I don't really do a lot of a ritual. As I said, I do have a daily practice, and I like to light a candle, and I like to do a few mantras and do some singing or pull an angel card. I get bored if I do the same thing every day, but I will say that meditation has become the core of my practice. So I do still sit down and just write the messages out, and at some point, maybe I'll clear the throat chakra to be able to do those messages in an auditory way on the spot. It's still a matter for me of clearing the ego.
Inshallah, Ashe. Okay, so when you're channeling an angel for somebody, how do you, I guess what I'm curious about is when you're doing these angel oracle messages for others or yourself, do you just kind of wait to see what comes in, either through channeling or through automatic writing? It sounds like you're very clairaudient.
I do just sit with a blank piece of paper, and I used to have to write them out by hand because my conscious mind wanted to edit it. And if I was reading the words about what was coming in, I would go, what? Really? Should I say that? Can I say it like that? What about the commas? What about the periods? So I would get really blocked by my mental process. So now I don't have to do it by hand, thankfully. I can sit down at the computer and type it out and even be conscious of what is coming out on the page. But I want to be really careful about the purity of what needs to be said and the way it needs to be said. I can sometimes go in and say, I don't really get it the way that you said it, and can you clarify a little bit and change the wording? But sometimes I go in and try and change the wording, and the energetics of the message isn't the same, because words carry certain vibrations, and sometimes the way the words are put together is the message. It's the energetic message of what needs to be said. And sometimes, even though I don't understand the words, I trust that the energy packet that was coming through that needed to be delivered is embedded in that message, in the words, the way that it comes out on paper. So I don't really direct it much. I pretty much just take it the way that it comes. And Jesus came in the other day, and that's the first time that's ever happened, and I was really surprised because I've been doing angels for 3 years.
So where can somebody find your angel oracle messages? Like, do you have like a blog where you share the message, or the personal messages, or are they both?
I have a blog that started out as the consciousness guide that you spoke about in the introduction. I've been doing for 5 years, and it was about my personal awakening process. Originally, I thought that what Spirit wanted me to do was to teach people awakening, and maybe I'll end up doing a course on how I had my awakening, to know that I was part of oneness and feel into that oneness experience. So all my angel messages are on that website, which is lindsaygodfree.com, www.lindsaygodfree.com. Lindsay GodFree, Godfree, LindsayGodFree.com. So you can find those messages under both Consciousness Guide and LindsayGodFree.com. I do have a YouTube channel and very active Facebook. So the messages are available. There's a lot of them. And if your audience would like to have a personal message, you can go to my website and look in the Work With Me menu and click on that and order your own personal angel message, which is a transmission of light energy that the angels want you personally to receive. And if you just want meditation, transmission, activation, you can go to my free gifts and see what kinds of things the angels are channeling through to me.
So can you give us a little share of today's angel's guidance that you got today before you got on the show? Did you have a transmission earlier this morning or anything intuitively like that?
Gosh, I did just do one, and it's still not wholly conscious for me. I came into this meeting kind of fresh from there. Let me see if I can remember what the content was about. I was inspired by your speaking about Metatron, and I thought, I wonder if Metatron will come in. And although it was a little bit that energy, he didn't come forward to say, I am Metatron, and I'm not as familiar with his work as some of the other angels. So now it's coming back. It was a lot about how we manifest in the earth plane, which is, I think, the thing that Metatron is famous for, and that we are going into this fifth dimensional lifetime. And what the angels said is, even though we don't really understand how that's going to look, we don't really feel, we don't really know how to operate in a fifth dimensional level as humanity. It is beyond our wildest dreams, and that's why we don't really understand it. And I think that it's coming, and I know that you kind of step into those other realms of being, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. The angels are supportive of our journey, wherever we are on the journey, and it's taking one step after the next step and really following, being present in the now. And what the angel said is, some of those things sound cliche because in the spiritual community we say them so much: be present in the now, feel the love, and they say the same message over and over again. Angels are a little bit repetitive in that the message is always present. It's a pretty big message, and so as the energy comes in daily, there's just a little piece that they say a little bit differently, and everyone hears it a little bit differently. the messages keep coming. So keep listening.
Absolutely. I think sometimes we have to have the message repeated until we get the message, right? It's like hitting the brick wall so many times, then finally the brick wall expands and we got the memo.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it goes deeper and it goes multidimensional, and it's exciting. It's really magical, and that's what's so fun about tuning into the angels. It is a really beautiful place, and I really hope that more and more people will tune in and see what the angels have to say, because they can really help us in our awakening and uplifting our frequencies to a much higher plane. And the more of us that do that, the more joyful we're all going to be. So.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with my audience? I'll have all of your information in the show notes where they can connect with you, your Facebook page, your website, and whatnot. So is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, I think one of the messages that I want to give to everyone is just to know personally how amazing you are. So you are a magical, powerful being of light, and the angels love you, and they want to help you be all that you can be. And there's only one of us here.
Inshallah, Ashe. Well, blessings to you, Lindsay, and thanks so much for joining me today and being a part of my Meet Me for Coffee in my show. I'd love to support you in your journey and connecting with angels, so I'll be sure to share with my audience and on all my venues as well.
Well, thank you, Tonya, for inviting me. I'm really grateful to connect with you, and looking for more of the work that you do in shamanic work that has an interest for me too. So blessings to you.
Inshallah.
To all of your audience.